Today we're talking about water on a sailboat.
We're headed for adventure, our worries left behind. Taken to the water, but rising like the tide. With open skies above us, we'll be running side by side.
Hey guys, Tim here from Lady K Sailing, and this week's midweek mini-series on how-to, we're talking all about freshwater. Not the stuff your boat floats in, but the stuff you drink and shower with and all that fun stuff. So last week we talked all about solar, we talked about our panels, our battery bank, and how we make it all work. We're going to do the same thing this week about water. If you want to see the solar episode, I'll throw a link at the top of the screen right now. And then on to water. So last week's episode was launched on Wednesday as part of our new mini-series that we're going to try to launch every week midweek. It's not one of our regular episodes. We launch those on Fridays. So it doesn't actually count toward patronage or anything like that. We're doing it strictly to show you guys how we on Lady K deal with some very common cruiser problems. It's not always the right way. It's not the way that you might want to do it, but I'm just telling you how we're doing these things and how it works for us as we cruise through the Bahamas right now. So without further ado, let's talk water. On a cruising boat, the number one thing you're looking for in the realm of water is how much water you can store, the tankage. How much the boat holds is going to be largely dependent on the size of the boat and how it was set up in the factory. Now, Lady K is a 35-foot boat, and her official status, as I'm concerned, is an IOR racer cruiser. So she wasn't set up for long haul. She doesn't have huge tanks of water and diesel and all that kind of stuff. She's actually just more of a coastal boat, and she was set up for racing and light cruising. So her water tank, the main water tank, is on our starboard side under the settee, and that tank is relatively small by modern standards. That tank itself is only 30 gallons, and I'm going to do this in gallons because most of our viewership, I think, is in the US. So 30 gallons is 110 liters or thereabouts. But our 30-gallon water tank is tiny compared to normal standards. So we have to make concessions to carry more water. So what we did when we built our bed on the port side of the boat, we extended the settee that was originally there to be most of a king-size mattress, and we use a 10-inch memory foam mattress that's made out of the gel memory foam. But anyway, when we extended that settee, it left us a huge under-the-bed area. So to make the best use of that space, we found some water jugs that we can fit 6 of underneath the bed quite easily. That keeps the weight of those jerry can water jugs very low in the boat and directly on top of the keel, and they're actually right on our water line. So it actually doesn't hinder the performance of the boat too badly. Usually a monohull does quite well with a lot of weight down low in the middle. So we have 6 of these 7-gallon jerry cans. So on top of our 30-gallon holding tank, we have another 42 gallons of water capacity in these jerry cans. And that's very important because when you're cruising through the Bahamas, water is sometimes hundreds of miles between fill-ups. Now, our water system works as follows. The main water tank gravity feeds down through the bilge and then into a water pressure pump. This is a normal pressure pump. It has a bit of suction to it so it can pull the water up from the tank, and then it puts it out into the boat's actual plumbing system. From the water pressure pump, it splits off between a cold water line and a hot water line. Now, the cold line runs up to the head, or the bathroom, as it were, on a boat, and it goes to the cold faucet, obviously, and that faucet also pulls out to double as a shower. Now, most cruising boats do the same thing. You pull out the faucet, you hang it on a little clip on the wall, and that's how you shower. The hot line, instead of running back to the head, runs back to the cockpit, and that goes to where there used to be a hot water heater. That hot water heater ran on 110 volt shore power, and it had a heat exchanger off the engine. That hot water heater rusted out during the previous owner's ownership of this boat, and he removed it and simply looped the line so that the hot water is now just plugged into the cold water lines. We don't have a hot water heater on Lady K. We never bothered to replace it. We're making do, and I'll explain more about that in a few minutes. The hot water then runs back, and the cold and hot go both to the head and to the galley. Now, in the galley, we fitted an Epic Water Systems water filter system under the galley sink in the cupboard. Now, that only filters the cold side, and only the cold side going to the galley faucet. So any other faucet, the one in the head or the hot water, is not filtered in any way. It's just whatever we get from wherever we get it. The filter, though, runs the cold from the faucet, so that's our drinking water and our cooking water, and we've had very good luck with it. We're about due for a filter replacement, so we're going to look into that, but that seems to work, and it takes any bad taste or anything out of the water. Good so far. How we shower is sort of unique in and of itself because we don't have a hot water heater and we don't want to always take cold showers. Sometimes that's fine, when it's really hot in Bahamas especially, but what we do is we fill one of these shower bags. Now this is a solar shower bag. You can buy these pretty much anywhere, RV places, that kind of stuff. You fill it up with water in the morning, you lay it on the deck and you let it sit in the sun for the entire day. And by about 3 or 4 o'clock, the water is about as hot as the human body can tolerate. It's very sunny in the Bahamas. Tremendous amount of heat goes into the solar bag and the water is very toasty. I mean, the bathroom mirror steams up when you take a shower with this thing. The other alternative for showers is we installed, this is something we did aftermarket, we installed a stern shower. I put it in the hot water loop that was already in the back locker from where the tank used to be. We have a stern shower here now, and we can pop it out, have a little shower or a rinse off after you go swimming in the salt water. You don't want to be all sticky with salt. You can have a little rinse off, or you can soap up and have an actual shower. That's there for our convenience, and it also helps when we catch fish to sort of clean things back there, or just cleaning the outside of the boat is very, very helpful. How we get the water is a unique thing for cruisers. Our first thing that we have is a rainwater collection system. You guys may have remembered this a few episodes ago. I think we buttoned it up in about St. Augustine. So what I did was I was looking for a large surface area, and I was thinking maybe we would have some tarps pop out or something like that. But then it dawned on me, we have these massive solar panels that do nothing but collect rain, and then it sheets off of them at the worst time while you're sailing and splashes you. So instead we got this little aluminum flashing that you would use under shingles on a house, and we made eaves troughs out of it. There's an episode about that, and you can see where we siliconed the inside so they wouldn't drip, but the water goes onto the panels, down into the eaves troughs, and then runs down to downspouts that we made. And when we're going to get a really good rain, we simply put 2 water jugs at the back of the boat, stick the downspouts in them, and we fill water jugs. It's actually really efficient. We get a lot of water when a squall rolls through and when we have a big downpour, and we put this right into our water tank. Again, it's rainwater, so you probably want to filter it. I'm not sure if you have to, but we run it through our usual filter system of our drinking water. So that works pretty cool. When it's not going to rain, and in most places in the Bahamas, there are places to go and get RO water. RO water is reverse osmosis. It's what they make for everyone who lives on the island. It's not, you can't really ship in water, it's just too heavy. So they have RO water plants that actually take the salt water from the ocean and turn it into actual drinking water through reverse osmosis. This is the same technology that a water maker consists of if you have a water maker on your boat. We don't. A lot of boats don't. A lot of boats do. A water maker's up to you. They're $4 or $5 grand. Not in the cards for us. So we run into town, and I'm going to show you what that's all about. Put the jugs in the dinghy, take the dinghy across, and here's a little map of what that across looks like. It's blowing about 15 or 18 knots right now, so it's going to be a bumpy ride. So come on with me, we'll go get some water. Okay, because it's blowing so strongly, I got my foul weather coat on. I got my salt spray sunglasses because it's going to be a wet ride. So we got to get some water though, so let's go do it. Safety. I like to sit on the floor when it's really rough. Makes you less likely to fall out. I'm gonna put the safety harness on my wrist too. Okay, let's get moving. This is the free water dock in Georgetown, Exuma. RO water, perfectly drinkable. I should point out, it's not always that bad. It's just because it's blowing like crazy today. Usually like normal people would wait for a calm day to go get water, but I wanted to show you guys like worst case scenario. So take some abuse and let you see what it's really like on a bad day. But we're just gonna fill 3. Normally I'd bring 4 or 5, but it's so rough today. 3's enough. Let's go back. It's gonna be rough because the weight in the front is gonna make the dinghy try to nose down, which is gonna mean waves coming over the bow, so hope you're ready. Okay guys, that's it for our water episode. That's how we get it, how we store it, and how we use it on Lady K. I hope that helped you understand a little bit about how water works in the Bahamas. And if you're coming here, you don't necessarily need a water maker. A lot of us survive without a water maker, but that does mean you're taking dinghy trips into town, and some towns just don't have the water. The bigger places like Georgetown and Staniel Key and Black Point, they all have water, and most places it is free, like it is here in Georgetown. When we were in Allistown and Bimini, we had to pay for it, and I think it was 25 or 30 cents a gallon. It wasn't actually terrible to fill our whole water tank. Not really a prohibitive price. Anyway, so next week we're going to be coming back at you with another how-to video. We don't know what it is yet, so if you want to see some how-to videos, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below, and we'll try to cover all of your cool ideas. Again, we'll see you on Friday for our next actual episode of Lady K Sailing. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you to our patrons for making this whole thing possible. Have a great day, guys.